Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. If you are new to my page, my name is Alison, certified dating and relationship coach. I have a master's degree in mental health counseling. And so I say all that to say that we have to be very particular about who we take our advice from, beautiful people. That's not in an effort for me to boast, but we got to know who we're listening to and why. So again, welcome to anyone who is new to my page. If you are new, please let me know who you are and where you are from so that I can appropriately welcome you to my community. So what do I do? As a coach, I work with primarily single women to help them be found by the partners that they deserve. How do I do it? Number one, I do it with my coaching program, The Partner You Deserve. It's a 6-month coaching program where I work with women either one-on-one or in very small group, no more than 4 women in the group at a time. And I teach them the skills necessary to navigate dating successfully. What does that look like? Number one, we get very clear on exactly what they're looking for in a partner and a partnership. You are wasting your time downloading apps. You are wasting your time swiping through apps. You are wasting your time going out socially if you are not clear on exactly what you are looking for. The way that I like to explain this to people is, if you were to go to the supermarket without a shopping list, you're going to meander up and down the aisles and you'll be collecting things and throwing them in the cart as you go. And when you check out and you get home, you're going to go through your bags, you're going to unpack the bag, and you're going to say, damn, I forgot to get the eggs, I forgot the milk, I forgot the bread, I forgot the things that give me sustenance, the most important things. I got some good stuff. I got some apples, right? I got some veggies, right? I got some marshmallows. I love me some marshmallows. So I got some good stuff. But many times if we don't go with a list, then we are not going to be clear on exactly what we need, or we're going to forget those things. We're going to ignore those things. So the first thing that I do when I work with singles to help them be found by the partner that they deserve is I help them get clear on exactly what they're looking for in a partner first. Before we talk about getting dolled up, before we talk about where to meet good guys, before we talk about which apps are right for you, are you clear on exactly what you're looking for? Because when you are clear on exactly what you're looking for, you can then look and find those things. You'll know what questions to ask. You'll know what behaviors to pay attention to, so you can assess whether or not someone's a good fit. And if you're in my coaching program, I give you all the questions you need to ask. I give you all the behaviors you need to pay attention to, right? So step one in being found by the partner you deserve is getting clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner. Those are those non-negotiables I always talk about. Step two is going to be, what are you looking for in a relationship? I'm sure that you've heard people say that someone's good on paper or they're pretty on paper. But then when they actually go in to start doing the work to be in a relationship, it's not a right match. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't even mean that they're broken or hurt or damaged or traumatized. They just might not be what you are looking for in a relationship. They're a great person, but they don't desire the same things as you. They want marriage, you don't. They want children, you don't. They want to live in the country and grow their own fruits and vegetables. You want to live in the city, right? You a city girl. You're a hot boy. So one, we need to be clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership. And that's what I do in my 6-month program, The Partner You Deserve, right? Then number two, before we get on anybody's dating app, before we go on outside and talk about where I find a good guy, Alison, a part of the problem is you. That's part of everybody's problem. It's not you specifically. It's not you, Layla. It's not you, Nadine. It's not me, Alison. It's everybody, right? There are things about the way that we function in the world that's not at its best, that there is room for improvement. Right? And so if we are demanding the best of the best from our partners, then we also need to be the best of the best that we can be, right? Like, be all that you can be in the Army Reserves. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you need to be presenting and being the best version of you, because you cannot demand the best from someone unless you are also rising to the same occasion. And let's be logical about this, which is, I know my motto this year was the end of the gender wars, and I'm seeing an improvement in the content. That's good. So then my next message for next year is to bring logic and reason back into romance. That's going to be my message for next year, to bring logic and reason back into romance, okay? So let's apply some logic and some reason. You want this man that is considered the most desirable man in this country, right? Tall, dark, handsome, has money, slinging that thing, right? Is loving, affectionate. He is God-fearing. He is faithful. So you want the best of the best man. Logic and reason says the best of the best man is going to have all of the pickings because he is the most desirable. So if he has all of the pickings, that means you need to rise to the occasion too and be this ideal mate that a man like that would want. That is logical and reasonable and fair. And trust me, I'm not allowing the guys to escape this either. A lot of guys are unreasonable and illogical about what they desire. I watched an interview. I want you guys to check out this interview if you have 2 hours to spare. It was an interview of Irv Gotti. If you're not familiar with who Irv Gotti is, you're not a hip hop person. He was like the producer for Murder Inc. with Ashanti and Ja Rule and Lloyd and whoever else was under Murder Inc., right? He was like the lead producer. He was like the leader of the crew, right? And he did an interview and he was talking a lot about 2 interviews that he did. He talking a lot bad about Ashanti, whatever. Talking about Ja Rule, talking about hip hop, talking about what it was like to be around Nas and Jay-Z when they had their battle. So this interview was better than last one. So give this one a chance. He recently sold his masters, right? Now I'm not a music enthusiast. I don't know like the industry. My assumption is your masters is like the master copy of the music. So he sold his masters for $100 million. He sold his masters for $100 million. So he's worth over $100 million, right? So Nori, he is the host of the show Drink Champs. So Noriega, the rapper, he interviewed him, and Nori said something about like, where do you see yourself in terms of love and romance and marriage? And he said, you know, I just don't imagine me being able to find the woman that I am attracted to who's a good person who wants me for me. I cannot imagine that I can find a woman that I'm attracted to, and this is almost verbatim. I cannot imagine I'll be able to find a woman that I'm attracted to, right? That's a good person who wants me for me. Now, Irv Gotti's over 50 years old, right? So he's looking like a over 50-year-old man. He also has diabetes, so he looks a little bit sickly. I'm not trying to be shady. When you watch it, you'll see his interactions are a little bit off, and he later shares that like he's severely diabetic, right? You are an aging man who is ill, right? Who's worth over $100 million. He describes the woman that he liked. He says he met a woman, 26-year-old Dominican, bad chick, beautiful, bodied head to toe. And she asked him for $25,000. And he said, F out of here, I'm not giving you nothing. There's some more gentlemen who are joining the live, and I'm glad that you're here to hear this. We talk a lot about women's delusion, and I agree with you. I agree that there's a lot of women who are delusional in the dating scene, right? Impractical, unrealistic, but the men are not excluded from this. He is over 50 years old, sickly, worth over $100 million. He said that the women that he's attracted to, one specifically, 26-year-old bad Dominican chick, beautiful body, head to toe, and she asked him, had the audacity to ask him for $25,000. He said, F out of here, right? Why would a beautiful 26-year-old woman who has the pickings of almost any man that she desire want you for you and not your money? Isn't a part of the reason why so many men work so hard is so that they have a lot of money so they can pull whatever woman they want, and then they're going to pull that woman and not think that he has to pay for that lifestyle? Delusion is not exclusive to women. Being impractical and unrealistic is not exclusive to women. It is a human being experience. My friends, I have a group chat, and my friends, they call me All Lives Alley, because they say that every time someone says something, well, men do this, I'm like, women do it too. Women do this, men do it too. We live in a society where we are impractical and unrealistic. And so even though it's not in my business's best interest, it's not. It is not in my business's best interest for me to be as honest as I am about how unrealistic my target audience, women, are, right? I'm going to tell y'all the truth because that's who I am, right? So that is the work that I do. I primarily work with women to help them be found by the partner that they deserve. However, there's a lot of work that needs to be done before we talk about anybody's dating apps, before we talk about anybody's in-person events, we need to get clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner. Is it practical? Is it realistic? Is it in alignment with who you are and how you can deliver? Because a relationship has reciprocity. How do we relate to each other? It's not one-sided, right? No relationship is one-sided. No relationship should be. So are you clear on exactly what you want? Can you deliver those things, right? Are you clear on exactly what you want out of the relationship itself, not only the man or the woman? And does that person want the same thing at the same time? How about that? Not only do they want the same thing, but do they want it relatively close at the same time? Yeah, I'd like to get married, but maybe 5 years from now. Well, that doesn't really work for me. And so that relationship won't work. Doesn't matter how amazing those people are, right? Then we get into who are you as a person? Are you showing up as the best version of yourself so that you have a right to demand the best from somebody else? Right? We got to be realistic. I want you to think about relationships, romantic relationships, just like any other, right? You have a friend and that friend is do or die. They are there for you 3 o'clock in the morning when you're crying over some ex that broke your heart. They're the ones who taking you to the airport in all the worst traffic. They are the ones who are there for you to set up for your birthday party 4 hours in advance. They lend you money when you need it. Do you reciprocate? Are you giving them back the friendship that they deserve? There has to be reciprocity forever and ever and ever, okay? Then we get into online and offline. So online, which dating apps are the right ones for you? Every app is not right for everybody. There's a reason why there are hundreds of dating apps on the market, because they are marketed to their particular target audience. There are some that are better suited for you than others. So that's what I teach in my coaching programs. I give you which apps are the right ones for you. I create your dating profile with you, because there are ways that you could be talking yourself out of a great date, like being a negative Nancy. There are ways that you are attracting inappropriate matches by not being clear on exactly what you're looking for on the profile multiple times. And I teach where to put it on your profile, right? Where to go in person. So there are specific events in your city that you should be attending if you are looking to be partnered. There is a way you should be physically presenting yourself. Like, I should be positioning myself in this spot, in this room. I should be dressed like this. I should look like this. I should speak like this, which should be in alignment with who you are. It should not be a great stretch, right? But we have to do that work. When people talk about doing the work, one of my problems in the mental health space is there's a lot of talk about doing the work, but not what is the work. And I feel like there's a lot of jargon and jibber jabber that's spoken about in the mental health space and in the dating space. People talk about doing the work, and what is the work? Because I'm not going to sign up for any work unless I know what it is. People talk about healing. How do I do it specifically? And I'll tell you this, and I say this lovingly. I appreciate all y'all who watch my live. I appreciate all y'all who follow me. But there is only so much that any professional should be willing to share online for free, because we live in a capitalistic society. So there's only so much you can get from the lives. There's only so much you can get for the clips. Forget that. Only so much you can get from the clips. Only so much you can get from the free ebooks, and only so much you can get from the free trainings. And it doesn't have to be me, but at some point you have to decide for yourself that I want this. Whatever this is. I want this. I want this physique. I want these edges to come back. I want this type of relationship. I want this kind of money. I want to build this type of business. I want to reconnect and build something with my parents. You have to decide at some point that this is what you want. And then, if you're impatient like me, I'm not doing the YouTube and the podcast in 1,000 different ways. I'm just going to go straight to the source. But if you are more patient than me, then you could try the freebies. You can see what you can get on YouTube University. You can see what you can get through podcasts, positive, useful podcasts that feed you, like the single season. Click the link in my bio, right? And then at some point, it's going to be, we live in a capitalistic society. There's only so much that's going to be given away for free. At some point, I need to find a professional who's going to help me get to my goal. You guys know, I talk about it every single week, multiple times a week, that I needed to lose 20 pounds after I gave birth to my baby. I know me, I hate the gym. I know me. I like cakes and cookies and all of the sweet stuff. I'm not going to do it on my own. I could pull up YouTube and I could do some Pilates classes. I actually do, right? But I know that I'm not really going to get the result that I desire if I'm doing it on my own. At some point, I had to say, I'm not losing this weight. I gave birth to my baby September the 4th. I hired a fitness trainer in August. July. So that's 10 months. I didn't do it in 10 months. It's not getting done. I say that I want to lose the weight. I say that all the time, but I'm not doing the work. I'm not taking the action. 10 months later, I was still the same plus 20 pounds. Something's got to give. And you know what gave? My credit card. To someone that I vetted online, and I saw his results, and he was located in a location I could get to, and I hired him. DTD Fitness. His name is Dwight. He's amazing. DTD Fitness. So at some point, we have to decide. I've had relationships that have not served me for 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years on the dating scene. And I'm not getting the results I desire. It doesn't have to be aligned with Alison, but at some point, it has to be one of two things. Either I am too cheap or lazy, and I really don't want what I say that I want, so I'm going to stop saying it because it's just not true, or you're going to take action. One or the other. It's got to be something, right? At some point, you have to decide that you want more. At some point, you decide, I want to make more money, so I'm going to start looking for work. At some point, you're going to decide, I want to make more money. I want to change careers. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to sacrifice the money. I'm going to sacrifice the time. I'm going to sacrifice the effort. But how long are you going to sit there saying that you want something different for yourself, but you're not doing anything different? And this goes back to the reel that I posted about height that everybody wants to argue against. Folks who are not in happy let's look at the logic here. You are not in a happy, healthy relationship that you desire. You've been taking the same approach for 8, 10, 15, 20 years. You say you want the committed relationship. You've been taking the same approach for 5, 8, 10, 15, 20 years. You don't have it, but then logic is not telling you, perhaps I need to change something. Like I told y'all, this year's theme was the end of the gender wars. Next year's theme is to bring logic and reason back to dating and relationships. Because something ain't given. You've been chasing the same type of woman. Big butt, small waist, flat stomach, big old titties, a certain complexion, a certain race. You've been chasing that same woman since you're 18 years old. You are 37. You are 42. You are 45. And you have not achieved the relationship that you desire with that type of woman. Something called logic and reason says, you gotta change your approach. Or you're gonna end up with the same results over and over again. If this was anything else on earth, y'all would rock with me hard body karate. Okay. And you're gonna end up in the same cycle that you've been in. If this was anything else, Sharice, I'm speaking to. If this was anything else, logic and reason will prevail. If I told you guys that I have been trying to become a nurse and I have been trying to pass the exam and I can't pass it, and it's been 3, 5, 8, 10, 15, 20 years, and I cannot pass this exam, you would say to me, well, Alison, what approach are you taking? I study for 2 hours a week. And it's been 3, 5, 8, 10, 15, 20 years. You would say, Alison, you got to study more. You would say, Alison, you need to try different books. You would say, Alison, you need to hire someone who's going to help you, who's going to train you. You need to take another course to train you for the exam. You would tell me to change my approach. But this, when it comes to romance, is a foreign idea. Height is just one example. But it's where you go, right? It's the questions you're asking. You're doing something wrong. It could be physical. It could be emotional. It could be you're not going outside. You're doing something wrong. And instead of listening to the person who has studied this, who has the 150 plus testimonials to prove it, it's not just me and my ring. That's just okay. That could have been luck. I could have paid Andrew to marry me. But there are 150 plus women who have been through this, who said that it works, but I'm the fool. Let's get into our live Q&A. But I'm an idiot who's just talking out my ass. I got it. I understand. Oh no, how are we going to get into Q&A if the iPad is dead? Well, that's not good. Especially because I know it was charged just this afternoon. Ha, it's not dead. And I got it. All right, beautiful people. So how does the Q&A work? Every Tuesday, I post in my stories, and it's probably expired by now. Of course it is. So let me go back into the archive. Every Tuesday, I post the same exact story. Oh, no, not saves. Archive. It's a gray story with me in a red dress, and it's a cell phone, and it says, drop your question here. So let me show it to you as it loads on the iPad. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Every Tuesday around 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern is this story. And it says, drop your questions below. No DMs, please. Because I got too many DMs and I'm not going to respond to them. I love y'all. It's 80,000 of y'all and it's one of me. I'm not responding to DMs. However, what I can do is respond to the questions that are asked because they're organized. I'll show you real quick because I don't want y'all seeing the names. It's organized all there for me. So you drop your question there. If you want to receive an alert of when I go live or a reminder for you to drop your question, all you have to do is join me on my VIP list. It's a free text list. I text like twice a week. I don't OD because it's mad expensive. Side note, this is on my mind and my heart. I hope y'all can rock with me for a second. If you are subscribed to anybody's text list, including mine, and you don't want their texts, please text the word stop. You have no idea how expensive this is, especially for small business owners like myself, especially for entrepreneurs. Texting is outrageously expensive for businesses. I'm going to just tell you the numbers because that's how I roll. I have a plan that's 25,000 text messages for $479 a month. Now you think 25,000 text messages are a lot. I have 4,000 people on my list. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. That means I can send 6 text messages per month. 6 text messages per month. And I will reach 24,000 text messages to 4,000 people. Y'all get me? So if you don't want text messaging from anybody, especially me, save us. Text the word stop and it'll stop. Yes, Bella Poet. The text messaging is so expensive for businesses. Okay, so that's just my little way for me to help my fellow entrepreneurs. If you don't want those texts, don't feel bad. Just text the word stop because you're going to save them. You're going to save them some coins. Let's get into the Q&A. So, question I received. Went on a date with a younger man. After the date, he said he felt triggered by the past, but he wants another date. Yes or no? Went on a date with a younger man. After the date, he said he felt triggered by my past, but he wants another date. Yes or no? Well, what I would do is I would ask more questions about this trigger. And I don't want anyone to run necessarily from a trigger because someone being triggered just means that something upset them or bothered them. It doesn't mean that they are problematic. It doesn't mean that they are not healed. Even those who are healed doesn't mean that you can't be triggered later on, right? I would ask more questions. I just need to know, what was the trigger? What did she say? Was the trigger something that is imperative to her dating experiences? Then that's not going to work, right? So I need more. I need to know more. What was the trigger? What did she say? What was problematic? Is it reasonable that he would be triggered? Is it unreasonable if it's problematic? I would ask more questions. I would not just jump out the window and make random choices. And I do believe in offering second chances or a second date if it makes sense. If I enjoyed my time, if he enjoyed his time, I would get more information and then potentially go. What else you got going? What else you doing? All right? Give people a chance if it's reasonable and it makes sense. Been together 5 years, not married because of his finances. I want to be married. Should I move on? Absolutely, stop playing. You know how much a marriage certificate costs? I want to say in New York, my husband and I marriage certificate was $65. So when someone says that they don't want to be married because of their finances, what exactly do they mean? That sounds like absolute BS to me. I think that's an excuse that people use to not move forward and not take action. They don't have the money. This is America. You'll find the money if you want to do something. You're just not serious. He's just not serious. So if it were me, not even if it were me, it was me. And after 4 years, you don't want to get married, you're not ready to get married, whatever your excuse is, deuces, I'm out of here. You see all this? Absolutely not. You are not going to waste my time and waste my good eggs. So I'm advising you based on what I did, and which is 4 years. Yours is 5 years. 5 years not married because of his finances. That sounds like an absolute BS excuse to me. I would absolutely move on. Absolutely. 1 month in dating a guy, meets my non-negotiables, but he's not sure about marriage. We getting the same question back to back. I'm so glad. So I can reiterate the point that I just made. Stay or leave. 1 month dating a guy, he meets all my non-negotiables, but he's not sure about marriage. Stay or leave. So assuming that one of your non-negotiables is marriage, then that means he does not meet all your non-negotiables. Or is it a negotiable? Are you willing to negotiate that? If you're willing to negotiate marriage, meaning that you are willing to not get married once you have a happy, fulfilling marriage, relationship, which is plenty of people, then go on ahead. If you cool with it, you cool with it. But if marriage is a must for you and he said that he's not sure about it, what you're not going to do is stay here for 5 years like the lady before you and hope and pray that he changes his mind. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If marriage is something you can negotiate, once you're happy, once you're fulfilled, then you can negotiate that, then I would continue to date him because it's not something that's a non-negotiable. If it's a non-negotiable for you, he does not meet everything, which includes marriage. Therefore, ergo, you gotta go. That's it. Easy peasy. Do you go 50-50 on the restaurant bill? Do you go 50-50 on the restaurant bill? So I will tell you that my methodology behind who pays for dates is who asks for the date. Whoever asks to take the other person out is the person who should pay. If someone asked me to go out on a date, I do not anticipate paying. Now, do I bring my card just in case this person is an absolute loser? Yes, I do, because I'm not washing anybody's dishes in order to be allowed to leave the restaurant. However, if someone asks me on a date, then my expectation is that they pay for the date. If I ask someone on a date, then I would offer to pay. Now, if they fought against it and they wanted to pay, then that's fine. But if I'm the one who's asking, then I'm the one who's paying. I will also add on to that I'm not the one who's ever asking. But if I were to ask, I would pay. So no, I'm not going 50-50 on a bill. Even if I'm the one to ask, I'm not going. To me, that's petty. I'm not counting drinks. You got the steak and I got the salad. That's beneath me. I'm not 21 at some big birthday dinner with 10 people. And I'm not playing that game. Okay. Even in that case, it's going to be an even split. And I don't even drink. I don't drink. I don't eat red meat. So my meals are always cheap. However, that's not how I roll. It's petty. It's childish. And I make too much money in order to be splitting bills with people. I'm either paying in full or I'm not. Okay. Is it too late to move in when you accepted what should have been a deal breaker? I think you mean move on. So I'm going to change this to move on. Is it too late to move on when you've accepted what should have been a deal breaker? And even that I'm not really sure about. So I'm going to answer this the way that I think that you meant to do this. Okay. I think what you meant is, is it too late to, I guess let's go with move in. If that's what you meant, let's go with it. Damn. You know what, honey? I don't know what the hell you meant, because that still doesn't make sense. So what you can do is you can DM me and I'll give you a quick response. You can DM me and I'll give you a quick response. For everyone else, you can submit your question every week on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern through Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. I go live at 6 and I answer your questions. Or you can click the link in my bio and you can book a private 30-minute Zoom session. Or you could join me in the Future Wives Club, which is my private Facebook group where you can ask questions 24/7, as well as have access to all of the former trainings, all of my ebooks, all of my live Q&As that go there. It does not stay here on Instagram. So if you don't catch it live, in the first 24 hours. That's where it all goes, all 150 plus. Plus, we have monthly meetings. You can go ahead and check me out at the Future Wives Club. It is $62 a month. You can quit anytime. I think that's it. I think that's all the questions that we have. Yep, I covered it. All right, beautiful people. So as I said before, if you would like your question to be answered for free, all you have to do is join me on my free VIP list. I will text you when I go live and you could drop your question. Other than that, you could click the link in my bio to book a private session or join me in the Future Wives Club. If you are interested in coaching is a full 6-month program where you see all of those engagements that I have, all of those weddings that I have, 2 babies, committed relationships galore. That's through my 6-month coaching program, The Partner You Deserve. All you have to do is click the link in my bio to book your consultation. All of the information, including the pricing, is available for you. All you have to do is click the link in my bio to get all of the info you need for my 6-month coaching program. That's the program where you see all of my testimonials, the engagements, the weddings, the babies, the committed relationships. There was an engagement that happened at Disney World about a month ago. I had a traditional African wedding a couple of weeks ago. This is the work that I do. This is not advice that's willy-nilly. This is not, oh, Alison speaks well, she's kind of pretty. Well, not kind of, I'm playing it low for y'all. I'm real pretty. So she just goes online and she talks and people share it and people argue and she grows notoriety. No, this is the work that I do. That is a barn door that is behind me. Do me. Oh, do me a favor. That's a cute name. So if you're interested in actually getting results, but you're willing to listen and take action so I can get those results for you, all you have to do is click the link in my bio for a myriad of services. And if you still are on the free 99, you can also click the link in my bio for the free 99 where it says, I think, free and low cost resources. Just scroll to the bottom and you'll see that as well. All right, folks, I'm out of here. I'm going to be going live tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. So make sure you check me out there as well and have a good evening. I have a group in like 30 minutes, so I got to go. All right, guys.